it's like, you know, in my head, I've preached this sermon now about 20, 25 times, you know, but and it's still not quite complete. But I want to stick to the script. I don't want to free flow any points this morning. No more than I've already done this morning. But I want us to leave here this morning with just a few concepts from this lesson. In particular, the inventory portion of it. And this is one thing we talked about on Wednesday night. And I have here in the intro. Any business that plans to be successful must take an inventory of the stock in trade. If you're selling, if you're in retail, you have this stock. And I know when I worked in retail, I worked at Gumps, every year we would set aside time to inventory what was in the store. And what would happen is they check the stock in trade. What do we have on the shelf? What do we have in the basement? What is in the warehouse or the distribution center? And it would be this big inventory that would go on company-wide. And what would happen, it would be one thing just to check and jot down what we have, but that wasn't the end of it. The end was to analyze or decide what we could sell and what we couldn't. Some things we couldn't sell because it was out of date. Nobody wanted to buy it. They've been on the shelf for 15, 20 years, and they finally come to decide, nobody wants this stuff. We need to get rid of it some other way. You know, or some things were so damaged, we have to trash it, you know. And some things were selling good. And they said, well, you know, we need to get more of this. You know, some things flying off the shelf. We need to make sure that's what we have because that's what sells. That's what's worth. That is what is working for us, and we need to make sure we have that on our shelf. So we see from verse 12 in Psalms, which is the base verse of the lesson this morning. It says, teach us to number our days. It's simply telling us to help us make a regular practice of inventory of where we stand in our walk of the path of faith. When we take communion in 1 Corinthians 11, it talks about examining ourselves. James talks about we don't want to be like the man who looks in the mirror and beholds himself, and then as soon as he get out of the mirror, he forget what manner of man he is. So it's a question, or it's the concept that I want us to be mindful of where we stack up, or how do we match up to the plan that God has.